This is Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Analyst speaks on local government pools. Soldiers arrest Okwama leaders. Fana advises police over Ajero's invitation. Federal government bars cash payments for $500 million. Barack Obama picks Kamala Harris. Mikel speaks on John Terry. I am not an Afrobeat artist, says Flavor. And now on to the news in details. Analyst says Governor Fubara's decision to conduct the forthcoming local government elections in the state is to gain support and followership. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversations, a political analyst, Nze, said Governor Fubara's recent reactions is aimed at an entire political inclusion.
The people of Rivers State. You see that several people have come from the opposition angle to kick against the conduct of the local government election, which they were promoting earlier when they felt.
Meanwhile, Lekon Ojo has expressed doubts on the success of the planned local government elections in the state.
I've not seen the sign of any possibility, because definitely the RISEC should have given a certain date, and I think there is a stipulated period of time that notice of election must be given, so that when campaign will start, when the primary election will be conducted, after primary election, when campaign will start, and to when the election will be held, to when the swearing.
This is coming after Governor Fubara has affirmed the forthcoming local government elections will hold as scheduled by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC. Also, Bayelsa state governments have described the vandalization of power towers and consequent blackouts in the state as an attack on the social and economic well-being of residents of the state and a sabotage on government's investment drive. The State Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Strategy, Ebioluwa Koku Obia, who disclosed this while speaking to journalists after an on-the-spot assessment of the ongoing works to re-erect the 2 out of 3 dismembered and collapsed power towers at the Igbo Gene end of the Transmission Company of Nigeria Limited facilities. Honorable Koku Obia advised residents to be vigilant as the recent extensive attacks on power supply lines, electricity to the state, is suggestive of a calculated attempt at making life difficult for the residents of the state, urging them to join government at condemning the unfortunate criminal attacks on power towers and commended the Transmission Company of Nigeria for responding quickly to Bayelsa State government's calls to restore the collapsed powers. She expressed the optimism that power will be restored with the quick commencement of repair works in Bayelsa, including 13 other collapsed and compromised towers between Okugbe and Mbiama in River State.
By the estimation of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the confidence told me that it would cost not less than 1.7 billion naira to get these 14 towers re-erected. Now that we have 11 also collapsed between Awoda and Mbiama, and then 3 other ones buckled, I will not be able to give exact time frame until we meet with the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria. But in my engineering knowledge, I know that it will not take less than 4 to 5 weeks.
Commissioner for Information also speaking, the Managing Director of the Bayelsa Electricity Company Limited, Engineer Olis Kemenabo, who said the Bayelsa State government is committed to working with every stakeholder to ensure that power is restored in the state before long, and expressed regret over the attitude of residents to government assets, insisting that the only way to ensure that citizens derive enduring benefits from the amenities in their own communities is to protect such assets and protect them, since they are the primary beneficiaries of such infrastructure.
We are concerned, and government is working with TCN to ensure that we find a solution to this. So Bayelsa should know, instead of, attacking this issue politically, because we hear and we see a lot of people making malicious comments on Facebook and on social media. For this particular project, it's a federal government project, and I want to say, commending the TCN that they have actually taken proactive steps.
Correspondent Ogro Ebiki-Bena reports that the state has been in darkness for over 1 month. Moving on, some men in military uniforms have allegedly arrested the President General of Ewu Kingdom, Professor Otto Ekpokpo, and 2 other leaders of the Okwama community in Ugeli South local government area of Delta State. Ekpokpo was amongst those declared wanted by military authorities on the heels of the Okwama crisis. This is coming after soldiers numbering 17 who were on a peace mission to the Okwama community were killed on March 14, 2024. And following the killings, the military invaded the community, forcing residents to flee to neighboring communities and creeks. Ekpokpo, who was amongst those declared wanted over the killing of the soldiers, was nabbed at an undisclosed location at Sapele on Sunday night, while his present whereabouts remain unknown. Eyewitness said Chief Belvis Adogbo and Dennis Akubaye were similarly arrested on Monday morning by armed men in plain clothes at various locations in Ugeli, while a leader of the community who would not want his name in print because of the sensitive nature of the matter told journalists in Warri on Monday that the arrest might not be unconnected to March 14 killing of 17 military personnel around the community. Management of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has issued an operational license to Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited, Ologbo, in the Ikpoba Oka local government area of Edo State. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is the technical and commercial regulator of midstream and downstream operations in the petroleum industry, and the issuance of operational license is in the final stage of approval from the regulatory authorities, which implements that the plant can now fully operate as a refinery. The Executive Director, Hydrocarbon Processing Plant Installation and Transport Infrastructure, Francis Ogare, handed over the operational license to the refinery head, Technical Operations Shegun Okeni, and assured the management of the refinery that the regulatory authority is a business enabler, IPCC Energy and Edo Refinery all the necessary support in all its projects. Responding, the head of technical operations of Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited, Shegun Okeni, said the company is out to make her contributions to the petroleum refinery and gas processing subsector to registered political parties participating in the forthcoming September 21, 2024 governorship election in Edo State. The Edo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Anugbum Onoha, presented the register to the political parties represented by chairman, secretaries, and other officials. Onoha presented the register to Labour Party governorship candidate, Barrister Olumide Akpata, as a result of the leadership crisis rocking the party in the state, while the non-presentation of the register to the Labour Party representatives was due to the leadership crisis in the state, which polarized the party into factions, while the party has Barrister Kelly Ogbalo and Elizabeth Ativie as chairman of its factions. According to Onoha, the register would be presented to Akpata, being the candidate of the party of the election, adding that the presentation of the register was in line with the relevant section of the Electoral Act that mandated the Commission to, within 30 days to the election, present the voters' register to political parties. Onoha presented the register to political party governorship candidates to Labour Party governorship candidate Barrister Olumide Akpata as a result of the crisis rocking the party. In a different news, Abia State government has concluded plans to renovate and retrofit 200 existing primary health centers across the state before the end of this year. The State Commissioner for Information, OK Kanu, who disclosed this while briefing journalists on the outcome of his week's State Executive Council meeting, presided over by the State Governor, Alex Oti, said, the project, which is to be executed by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Abia State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, has a delivery period of 100 days with effect from September 2024. He also said the state recorded 13 suspected cases of monkeypox within Isialangwa, while 9 out of the cases returned negative, with 1 positive, whereas the remaining 3 are still unconfirmed. He also informed that as part of the ongoing reforms in the education sector, the verification of those private schools were closed down, while the training of both primary and secondary teachers in the state by educational consultants will soon be concluded, while all the examinations conducted by the Education Development Center were successful. The Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Professor Uche Uche, said the government is not demolition of houses to be demolished along the Umuika Orienta Road. Expansion and compensated for the affected structures will commence soon. Anambra State Police Command and the Security Joint Task Force have rescued a kidnapped victim in the Ihiala area of the state. The command's public relations officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, who confirmed the rescue in a statement on Tuesday, said the victim was rescued after operatives busted a criminal den at Umuduru, Ihiala, local government area of the state. He said that the feat was achieved following the arrest of a suspect, name withheld, a few weeks ago, and the arrested suspect confessed to being a member of the notorious kidnapped gang terrorizing the Ihiala area of the state. He also said the rescued victim, a man in his mid-30s, had been debriefed and released to his family while operations were still ongoing, adding that the ongoing operation in Ihiala had a combined team of police, military personnel, and members of the Anambra Vigilance Corps group. Nigeria Center for Disease Control says the number of suspected and confirmed monkeypox cases in the country has declined over the past 4 weeks. The NCDC disclosed this via its official website that monkeypox is an infectious viral disease that can occur in humans and other animals, and the symptoms include a rash that forms blisters, fever and swollen lymph nodes. The illness is usually mild and most affected individuals recover within a few weeks without treatment, and the Public Health Agency in its latest data said 51 new suspected cases were reported between epidemiological weeks 29 to 32 of 2024. According to the NCDC, it's a significant drop from the 102 cases reported during the previous 4 weeks, and the cases were recorded across 26 local government areas in 18 states, adding that out of the new suspected cases, 2 were confirmed positive, while 1 case each reported in Ebonyi and Enugu. It described probable case as a case that meets the clinical case definition, not laboratory confirmed, but has an epidemiological link to confirmed case, and urge healthcare providers to be vigilant for patients presenting fever, rash, and other monkeypox symptoms, especially if they have a history of travel to affected areas or contact with suspected cases. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control said that the National Monkeypox Technical Working Group, comprising multi-sectoral and multi-partner teams, continued its efforts to monitor and respond to the outbreak across the nation, and urged Nigerians to remain vigilant and adhere to public health guidelines to curb the spread of monkeypox, particularly in affected states. Lagos State Commissioner of Police Adegoke Fayoade has assured commuters and residents of the state of adequate security on the 3rd Mainland Bridge and other major roads. A statement by the command's spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hudein, said the reassurance became necessary in view of the public about the absence of police operatives on the 3rd Mainland Bridge and other roads of the state and urged motorists and other residents not to entertain fear, as all the black spots were heavily policed. Fayode also assured visitors that their security would continue to be prioritized at all times. Moving on, Oyo State government has commenced the payment of compensation to owners of the affected properties along the Ajia Enukan Local Government Council, Ona Ara Local Government area of the state. The Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Williams Akin Fumilayo, who disclosed this at a meeting with the claimants, said the government recently acquired an expanse of land for developmental projects comprising the construction of Air Force Base, General Hospital, and Information Communication and Technology Center, which he said were all sited at Ajia in Ona Ora local government area corridor of the state. Akinfo Milaya said the Oyo State government had earmarked the sum of 513,462,446 naira 50 kobo as compensation to the affected claimants. The compensation, according to Akinfo Milaya, is a crucial step forwards toward fostering a good relationship between the government and the residents, while the Oyo State government had earlier conducted an identification and verification exercise for the property owners along the corridor of the project, which after their properties were valued in preparation for the payment of compensation by the government. Raging fire has razed down 2 churches and 1 furniture shop in the Felele area of Ibadan in Oyo State, destroying property estimated to be worth millions of naira, but no life has been lost in the incident. Eyewitness who commended the swift intervention of firefighters said he prevented the inferno from spreading further. The general manager of fire services in Oyo State, Yemi Akinyinka, who confirmed the incident, said 2 churches being the Redeemed Christian Church of God and New Covenant Parish, along with a furniture shop, were affected, adding that the fire primarily consumed plastic chairs and PVC materials. Ogun State has commenced rice production with the harvest of 200-hectare rice farm at Magboro in Obafemi Owode local government area. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun kicked off the harvest and highlighted the state's achievement of a milestone in becoming a rice-producing state. The Ogun State rice production effort is driven by Ogun State Economic Transformation Project and supported by the World Bank to stimulate economic growth and development, and hailed the achievement of producing locally grown rice as placing Ogun State on par with other rice-producing states such as Lagos, Kebbi, and Bayelsa. This is a developmental step towards food security, creation of employment and opportunities, and improving the livelihoods of residents within the state, he added. The farm has yielded a 7 metric ton per hectare, potentially translating to 1,400 metric tons of milled rice from the 200 hectares, with an efficiency yield of about 70%, adding that the rice farm could result in approximately 20,000 bags of milled rice per cycle, valued at around 1 billion naira, and if replicated 3 times annually, the project could generate 3 billion naira in revenue. He also said the agricultural sector intervention would offer crucial support to farmers, including advanced agricultural techniques, access to quality seeds, as well as modern irrigation systems and technical training, as a 60% discount on mechanizing costs. Ogun State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security Bolu Owotomo and Commissioner for Finance Dapo Okum Badejo commended the farmers for their dedication, stressing that the project is integral to the state's agenda of producing food locally to feed its population, while the project coordinator Mosun Owodunsi highlighted the project's goal for producing high-quality rice and its positive impact on citizens across various sectors. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has approved the reconstruction of the 8-kilometer Magboro-Makodi Road in Obafemi Owode local government area, which will also cover the Magboro under bridge. Abiodun, who disclosed this at the flag-off of the 2024 rice harvesting season, which took place in Egbako village. Reconstructing the road would open up the area to more development, even as he disclosed that the state government intended to provide about 2,000 hectares for rice cultivation in the area, adding that the reconstruction of the road is expected to bring relief to residents of Magboro who have over the years lamented the bad state of the road from Magboro bus stop en route to power line, Sele, gas line and Makodi. Many motorists in several places who narrated how they spent so much fixing their vehicles, which often got damaged on the road, especially when it rained, observed that many motorists, bikemen and tricycle operators still had to maneuver as they navigated the road, which had many potholes. 4 persons have reported death from food poisoning in Kwara State, and they include a mother and her 3 children who allegedly died in Ilorin and the Kwara State capital after eating suspected poisoned rice. The sad incident happened at Oshin area along Asa Dam Road in Ilorin Metropolis, and the father of the children is popularly known as Alfa Ahmad. Eyewitness said, while the firstborn of the family, Abibat, was the first to die, the mother and 2 other children died at the early hours of Monday. The other 2 deceased kids were identified as Zainab and Abdul Fattah. The police in Kwara State is yet to speak on the matter. Kogi State Governor Alhaji Usman Adodo has approved the appointment of 1,192 additional aides. A statement issued by the Secretary of the State Government, Dr. Folashade Ayoade, said, Ododo has approved the appointment of Alhaji Ibrahim Abdul Sadiq as the Director of Protocol, First Lady Office, in addition to other retinue of aides, legal appointments and appointees, and urged them to put in their best service in the state and humanity at large, adding that all appointments are with effect from September 1st, 2024. The Court of Appeal has ordered the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to produce himself for arraignment. The judgment delivered by the Kogi unless he is arraigned. This is coming after Governor Usman Ododo had scuttled attempts by EFCC operatives to arrest Bello from his residence in Abuja, while the EFCC is currently prosecuting Bello for alleged misappropriation of over 80 billion naira while he was in collaboration with the Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board, has enrolled over 1,000 out-of-school children from the hard-to-reach Farah Kasa community in Soba, local government area. Following the partnership that ensued between the state government and UNICEF, a new primary school and an adult education program for those above school age were established in the area. Dr. Jerida Birukala, UNICEF Chief of Field, had hindered children's access to education, and there is the need to establish a new school in the community, and called on the members of the community to take ownership of the school project and ensure their children attend, while she promised that Farah Kasa would receive a portable borehole and a medical facility, alongside adult education for locals above school age. Chairman of SUBEB, Alhaji Tijani Abdullahi, commended UNICEF for its consistent support. Chief Judge of Katsina State Justice Musa Danladi has introduced members of the Anti-Graft Agency on a familiarization visit to the Chief Judge for judicial advice, amongst others. According to Danladi, in order to stem the tide of corruption in Katsina State, a special court will be designated for the trial of such offenders. Earlier, the Commission's chairman, Justice Lawal, has stressed that the team was at Chief Judge's office to intimate him to our operations and seek collaborations, while Governor Diko Umar Rada had in late 2023 and established the Anti-Graft Commission to stem the tide of corruption in the state. Analyst intervention in the repairs of school structures. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst, Emmanuel Onyeka, tasked the school management on the need to relate and elaborate with relevant authorities in order to assist in the repairs of the learning facility.
You must state what it is. In matters like this, what I expect the university management to do is to reach out to the visitor of that university, either the governor or the president, to intervene, right? Otherwise, like the school spokesperson has said, they have to make a quick alternative for them. Because, you know,
Onyeka also said adequate investigations will go a long way like exams. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has disbursed over 209 million naira to 170 primary healthcare centers across the 27 local government areas of the state. In a ceremony held at the government house in Maiduguri, the state capital, Governor Zulum presented checks to select health officials health facilities from each of the 3 senatorial zones and charged all facility managers and coordinators of the local government's primary healthcare centers to be dedicated to their responsibilities by ensuring quality services to the people. Meanwhile, Zulum directed the 27 local government chairpersons to manage the primary healthcare centers in their domains and ensure optimal services, and also expressed Health and Human Services Professor Babagana said the disbursement was part of Zulum's commitment to ensuring quality health care to the citizens of Borno State and to ensure that every person in the state has access.
Socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has sacked Jalal Arabi, whom he appointed last October, and appointed Professor Abdullahi Usman as the executive chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Arabi's removal comes amid 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy probe by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which has seen Arabi being grilled. The President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Injuri Ngelale, in a statement titled President Tinubu appoints Chairman of National Hajj Commission, said on August 16 the EFCC secretly withdrew and allegedly mismanaged 90 billion naira in 2024 Hajj Intervention Fund. The EFCC discovered that from the 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy, Arabi fraudulently overpaid himself and others above the necessary operational costs. Ngelale said the president expected the new NACON chairman to discharge his duties with integrity, transparency, and utmost fidelity to the nation. President Bola Tinubu says he won't interfere in the activities of anti-graft agencies and has since assuming office made deliberate efforts to tackle corruption by funding the anti-graft agencies to deliver. Tinubu described corruption as one of the most significant obstacles to the country's progress, saying all hands must be on deck to confront it. Represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, the President spoke in Abuja at the 6th Annual General Assembly of the Network of Anti-Corruption Institutions in West Africa. Said corruption remains one of the most significant obstacles to the progress and prosperity. Experts have expressed mixed reactions following President Tinubu's recent press release concerning adequate funding and proactivity against crime and corruption in the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Blowout, a developmental expert, Loveday Dandy, expressed doubts on the recent claims of the presidency over sufficient funding and provision against corruption. Loveday tasked inspectors in the Nasarawa Egon local government area of Nasarawa State. The IG said the Special Intervention Squad signified a significant and robust mechanism for rapid response and high-impact intervention. The IG expressed his gratitude to His Excellency David Green, charged d'affaires of the Embassy of United States of America, Abuja, as well as officials of the Bureau of National Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, were consular staff, while other consular staff, while thanking the GS Foundation and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime for their invaluable contributions to the Nigerian police force in its fight against all forms of crime in the country. He also urged the 169 graduating officers' determination, integrity, and a steadfast commitment. Sir S. Larry Ogunlowo said the training of the 169 personnel, which lasted 7 weeks, started in Lagos State and ended at the end. They were doing to keep the country safe, adding that President Bola probing the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government for purchasing a new presidential jet worth $100 million without the approval of the National Assembly. The PDP Deputy National Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi and Deputy Youth Leader Timothy Osadolo, who described the action of the government as insensitive, while Nigerians are genuinely facing hard times and struggling to feed. While the campaign spokesman, the president would prioritize his convenience over the well-being of the generality of Nigerians amidst the economic hardship. The union handed down the